What's up guys? So today I'm back again with another strategy, right? So in the previous video I shared with you some misconceptions about the MACD strategy, the reversal MACD strategy, right? So today I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can counter those effects, right, by using divergence, right? But I'm not saying that this strategy is going to be 100% profitable, but it's just gonna help you filter some trades, right? So that you know exactly when to enter, right? So for those who went there, right, I was just saying the misconception is that when the when the MACD, right, when the MACD reaches the levels 80 to 90, right, generally or what people call the oversold and the overbought, right? That the market is going to be selling for a long while, or that kind of stuff, right? So that's generally a misconception, right? As you can see, let's take for example right here on this first peak right here. We don't Let's say we are not seeing what's on this other side, right? So right here when the market came to the level 90 over here, right, crossed over for a sale. And since these are generally the overbought regions, so you'll be expecting the market to sell for a while, right, for you to swing that trade. But as you can see, soon after that, the market will continue going back up, right? So that's just what I want to help you to counter, right, so that you know when to enter exactly, right? So generally the first principle that I'm going to be sharing with you is the market doesn't reverse without forming a peak, right? So what do I mean that the market doesn't reverse without forming a peak? So let's say the market is in an uptrend, right, like this, right. So if you see let's take for example this peak over here, right? If you see this peak over here, so this is relative to that peak, right? So if you see that peak, right, it doesn't mean that since it's at the overbought level, right, the market is going to be selling for a long one now, right? Generally, if the market wants to reverse, it first creates a peak. It can be an M or a W, right, or your head and shoulder patterns, right? Head and shoulder. There are many variations of the head and shoulder patterns, but I think that most of you know the reversal patterns, right? So let me change this size. It's too big, right? But I think most of you know the reversal patterns, right? The M's, the W's, and all that, right? So that's what you'll be looking for generally, right? So as you can see from right here, right? Let me just zoom in once, right? So from right here, right? As you can see from here, right here, this is one peak. This is the we're taking using the MACD, right? So if you wanted to enter right here, I don't encourage you to enter on this first leg right here, right? Rather, it would be better to wait for if the market creates an M. If the market is creating an M, right? Like what it was almost about to do here, but we don't enter because it didn't break this, because the MACD didn't show a clear signal, as you can see over here, right? It's not a clear signal, right? We want to form something that looks a little bit more perfect, right? So generally before a peak forms, right, there is divergence, right? So what is divergence? As you can see from here, right, divergence, the MACD here is creating is going lower, right? It's creating lower lows, right? But the candlesticks are creating higher highs. This is creating lower highs, right? So generally this is the divergence, because this is showing another direction, this is showing another direction, right? So generally, or after you noticing divergence, you able to know that the market is about to reverse, right? So as you can see, eventually the market reversed for a while, right? After forming your peak. This is just an ugly M, right? Right here it formed a peak. You could have entered after the breaking this you draw a trend line over here, right? Entered after this breakout, there's a small retest, you enter and you can swing that trade, right? You can also enter another entry over here because this is a downtrend now, right? When the MACD crosses for for a sell over here, right? And as a signal for you to exit the trade, what do you see again? You spot another divergence over here, right? So right here, the MACD is creating what higher highs, and as you can see here is creating what lower low, right? So generally, which trend do you follow, right? Because as you can see here is creating a lower low, right, and here is creating what a higher high. The trend that is mostly followed, the trend that is mostly respected, right? Because there's regular and irregular divergence, right? So this is regular divergence, right? So generally, when you are drawing your trend lines, right? So if it's an upward trend line, if you are drawing it lower, right, you expect what the market to draw the trend line like this, right? You don't draw a lower support trend line using what this direction. So you just follow the normal what the normal pattern, right? So in this case, we are following what the direction, the trend that is being shown by the indicator window. Hence, we are going to what to anticipate a buy, right? So though this strategy doesn't work that instant, right? As you can see, let's check this example for example right here. But as you can see, there's divergence here, right? Right here, there's divergence. This is creating what a lower low, but this relative to what to this peak, right? As you can see right there, right? When the MACD crosses over here, right, for that second leg, right? When the MACD crosses over there, right? Yeah, it's a strong signal to enter, right? But as you can see, the market continued to drag for a while, right? Though if it's creating what this, it's not like a wedge pattern, right? So I encourage you to draw what a wedge, right, and enter on that on the breakout, right? So as you can see over here, sorry, as you can see over here, let me just draw the trend lines, right? So right here, so that's it, right? You just draw your lower trend line in that. The upper trend line doesn't matter that much, right? Because we're anticipating what a downward move. Why? Because the MACD is showing divergence to the downside, right? So right here, when you zoom in your charts, right? So we enter right here, right? We've got what a breakout, right? And the retest to the trend line, right? That's when you enter your trade, right? When you see this engulfing candle right, you enter and you hold your trade, right? You just keep on you adjusting your stop loss, but as you can see, it went down for a while, right? So this is just to help you guys to filter out some trades, right, before you enter them, right? So I'm not saying that it works 100% of the time, right? So like this, for example, right? So generally the MACD on its own creates what a peak, right? So as you can see, this is an M on the MACD, right? And it's showing what divergence because this high is lower, right? And this one is what higher, right? So that's the divergence, right? Then you also have to use some other entry methods, some other entry criteria to filter to make this strategy more perfect, right? More reliable, because you just can't enter on the crossover there, right? Because as you can see, it crossed over somewhere in here, right? Yeah, it went down for a little while, right? Then it continued to pull back to the upside, but you know that the market is generally going to fall down because there's divergence, right? So what I encourage you to do is you incorporate just some trend lines or any other simpler strategy that you think is simpler to you, right? Any strategy that you think is way easier for you to use, right? So as you can see right over here, we've got a trend line breakout, right, and the retest to the flip zone, right? So what's the flip zone? A flip zone is just when a support is broken, as you can see from here. This was a support level, previous support level, right? When it gets broken, right, it now acts as as a resistance level, right? So after you see this evening star formation, you enter your sell, right, and you hold that trade. Your stop loss generally goes above the previous high, right? You enter over here and you are in some profit, right? So that's generally how and as you can see, it went down for a while, right? So I'm still not saying that the strategy works all the time, right? So try it out on demo first, backtest it until you see what you are profitable with it, because most of the time, if you are starting divergence doesn't, it's not clear to you, as in it's quite difficult to notice, right? If you are not familiar with it, right? So And why am I saying that the strategy doesn't work all the time? Right, it's not, doesn't react uh, effectively right there and then, right? As you can see right here, we're creating what? Let me take my pencil. Right, we are creating what? A series of 4 lower lows, right? But here we're creating what? Is showing an uptrend, right? So I'm not saying that this strategy doesn't work, right? But as you can see right here, it reacts slowly, right? As you can see right here, we're creating what? Lower low, but right here we're showing what? An uptrend, right? So the if market eventually what? Went upwards, right? If you had entered right there, right? Let's check for example right here when you just saw what? This divergence, you'd have entered somewhere right here, right? And your stop loss would have been what? It have been hit, right? So that's why I'm saying that when you spot divergence, right, anticipate what? An uptrend, right? And then you incorporate something like your trend lines, right? As you can see, maybe you could have drawn your trend line over there, right? After the breakout and retest, you enter your trade, right? And as you can see, it went up for what? For a little while, right? So your entry will be somewhere here, right? And you went into profit for that while, right? And you exit why? Because what? There's divergence to the downside again over here because we are in a strong downtrend, right? So that's just what we keep doing, right? We enter on the breakout of the trend line over here, breakout and retest, you enter your trade. So that's what I got for you guys, right? So try this out on demo first, backtest it, and share with share with me how it goes for you, right? If you are able to what? To notice divergence, right? So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you.